you start? Do you have like an intro? Does it have
Generally I say, hi guys!
Why are you looking at me? Look at them.
I'm here with Ramin. We're going to answer some of your questions. We got a lot, so thank you very much for submitting them.
Are you projecting extra right now? Or is that going to be the normal tone for the whole?
No, you can bring it back. Was that the first question?
Why are you so loud? I'm right here. So first explain this to me. So this is for your Facebook?
Yeah, for my Facebook. And we've just asked the people at home who are playing at home on Instagram for their questions.
Playing at home.
Playing at home. And they've been kind enough to ask us lots of things.
Awesome.
About various subjects.
I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Me too.
Let's do it.
Okay, Kezia Dodson. I'm really sorry if I mispronounce any names. Kezia Dodson.
Why is she so loud?
How long have you guys known each other for?
Well, is this for both of us? Or
Yeah.
Well, I guess technically we've known of each other for quite some time. Obviously through
Yeah.
association of Love Never Dies. And then we met briefly at a gig that me and Adley, our last sort of Shade Tunes gig.
Like 5 years ago, probably, I would say.
Yeah, when I was at the other
St.
palace,
James.
what was it called? St. James Theatre. So we met then, and I don't think
I don't think we met in the interim.
No, so then officially I always say we met en route to Korea for Andy's 70th birthday when we did Phantom in concert. So that was end of April?
Yeah. Mid-April?
Yeah, no, end of April,
End of
because
April.
the concerts were like May 4th, 5th, 6th.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So not so long, I guess 2 months properly.
Yeah.
So today is June 22nd, 2018, and we've known each other for about 2 months at this point.
Broadway every day says, what's the best part of working together?
This.
Q&A.
No, I promised myself I was going to take this seriously. You know, you're easygoing. I enjoy your energy. You're a lot of fun. You're someone who self-proclaimed as well, and you've claimed it for myself that I'm an introvert. But you know, from right away on that plane, it was easy to get on with on stage. There wasn't much discussion needed. We just were able to try things and with a shorthand, without having to go into it. We knew what worked, what didn't work. You know, it was a nice sort of easy atmosphere to work with. So that's why I was looking forward to these concerts, knowing you were on it. So doing that in Korea was really helpful, and
I know, it was really good, wasn't it?
got me even more excited to come out here on my own.
The best part for me
We'll take it that she loves working with me. And it's too much to even talk
is how
about.
humble you are.
You could have answered something. That was to both of us. It's not just to me.
No. But my favourite thing is, I think that there's a lot about you that you can't take it. Can't hack it. Can't take it. Take it, Ramin. Take it.
Go.
My favourite part is that there is a lot about you in what you do on stage that's quite effortless, or that appears quite effortless.
It feels silly to do it now.
But no.
Story.
But my favourite thing is seeing how hard you work, seeing able to see up close in rehearsals and just in live how much of how unwilling you are just to settle for anything. You're always working hard. You're always seeking to better yourself. I think that's
Cool.
the best thing. Maddie Cat 13 says, which roles have helped you grow most as an actor?
Don't you think they all sort of feed into each other? You know,
Is there one for you that kind of sticks out as a time when you were like, yes, that?
I think what I'm doing right now, Che, getting that prepared. That's it's a difficult character to play. More than I anticipated, and
because he's kind of
not so much
his
the singing, but
narration. He treads an interesting line in terms of the story, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I guess it's down to the actor to play him how he wants to tell that story, and I've gone down a route that makes sense to me, and without diving into it, because I always think it's weird when I've done it before, and I always wish I never, when you talk about how you develop a character, because
it's quite private, isn't it?
I think so, and I kind of don't. I want the audience, if they do watch it, they should have their own thing and not be guided. So that's been a challenge, 100%. That's the one where I really had, you try and have character bibles that you use in rehearsal. You make your notes, whatever literature you pull from or whatever you find inspiring that you paste in. If you do that thing, that's the busiest book I've had. for sure. Valjean would have been tough in the beginning till something in the novel that stuck out to me that from once that made sense for me, these couple lines, from then everything fell into place.
Interesting.
But I think they all help, you know, each
Yeah, no,
springboards to another.
Yeah.
And when you, I believe in fate. I don't know, I guess fate, or sometimes there's a path for us where at the time you don't understand things. You know, they always say things happen for a reason,
Yeah.
even the bad stuff, and you'll figure it out somewhere down the line. Then you look back at least when I look back at my career, I'm like, wow, each role came at the right time for the right reason.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense in hindsight, but
Yeah.
sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees.
Oh, definitely not.
time.
Especially if it's maybe not as a positive experience. It's so hard to separate emotion from things, especially in this day and age.
We got a lot of questions about dream roles. I'm really dream role allergic. I don't really think about it in those sort of terms.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to keep, I guess, dreaming about dream roles. Like, I guess for me, I've had my dream role. The one role that I had my eye on was the Phantom when I was a kid, you know.
And then you do it, and then you go, oh,
now what?
That's done. Yeah.
So, you know, you just try and stay open. There's a ton of roles I'd love to play, you know, from Sweeney Todd to Billy Bigelow. That's it, my brain's gone. You know, those are equally as good as something that hasn't been written yet. I'd love to do a TV show. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But now I try and think of like what will further career, but also benefit the family.
Yeah. It's different.
Of course, you think about the bank balance as well when you have kids to feed.
I think some of my best experiences have happened when I was not anticipating the role or the show, and so that guides me, I think, in how I think about the next step.
Yeah, when I did Archibald, I remember on the plane going, I was in LA, and I was in New York at the Lincoln Center, and on the plane over, I was like, why did I say yes to this? This is not me. This is not me. This is not what I want to be doing. And then, obviously, I had to, so there's no turning back. And then every day in rehearsal, I fell more and more in love with it, and it probably is one of my favorite parts I've ever played.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and I learned so much, and it was great.
I know you never know when you're going to have the experience that will just blow the world apart for you.
It's maintaining what I guess our individual definition of success is. And everyone takes a role for, I think, different reasons. Sometimes people do need a job for financial reasons, and there's merit in that, and that's okay.
Or you're like, I want to take the pedal off, right? Like my foot off the pedal right now. I need something that's going to require less of me because 100%. I've got something going on in my life, or whatever it might be.
That's how I felt after Valjean when we finished on Broadway. I was like,
you just wanted to.
I can't keep going full tilt like this all the time.
Yeah.
I think you burn out as an artist.
It just requires a lot of you, doesn't it, to tell that story, to be that person on stage every night.
Like for me, I felt burnt out because also I was away from my family.
Yeah.
So the last thing I want to do was anything other than just be at home.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good one. S.Claire _ says, if you were to pick a dream role / character for one another, what would it be? I would want you to play against type. So I would love to see you do something comic or something like Hedwig in The Angry Inch. I would love to see you do something like that.
Yeah, I'd give it.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, that's what I would enjoy to see.
What would you do? Have you done Eliza Doolittle?
Yeah. Did it here
I think I'm
last
the wrong
year?
show now. God, see? I've never seen these. No, you can leave it in. Sound of Music. Have you ever done that? That's what you got to do.
Oh, really? But I want to be the sassy. You've never seen it,
I've
so
never
you
seen
wouldn't
it.
know.
But I just know you love for that genre and that sort of
well, it's just the music.
writing.
It just does something to me. But
and Carousel. I know you're dying to do that.
Carousel, that'd be fun.
So I'm willing for you to do things you want to do for sure. I think it's hard for sopranos though too, you know? In the sense where like new musicals that are coming out, are they writing for that?
Well, there's something like Bridges, which is...
That'd be great. I love that show.
Yeah, great show. I don't know. I don't really think in those terms. I just think of what comes across the table and whether it's something that I can see myself
What's
doing.
something that's unexpected that you would want to do?
Yeah.
Unexpected to them or?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't get asked very often to be funny on stage, and I did I did Kindergarten last year, and that was like in concert one night, and as soon as it finished I was like, I want to go again. Like, it was like a roller coaster. It was just the most exhilarating thing to do, and I just love to have another crack at that.
Very cool.
Got a few questions about playing like a gender bent role. Like, if you could play a role in a musical of the opposite gender, what would it be? Sweeney Todd.
Yeah.
So then you'd have to
Mrs.
play
Lovett.
Mrs. Lovett.
Let's do it.
Yes, let's do it.
I'm up for that. Like Mrs. Trunchbull. I know that's like a heightened sense of fun and reality, but man, Birdie was scary.
Yeah.
Real deal.
I'm still waiting for them to cast a 6'2" lady in that role. I'm sure that there are 6'2" women who do music theatre who could play Mrs. Trunchbull. Miss Trunchbull. She's not married, is she?
I don't know.
Okay.
All I remember is maggots.
Bloom 120 says, if any book/movie could be made into a musical, which would you choose?
Captain Fantastic. I think that'd be a great ensemble piece.
What's that? I don't know what that is.
I can never say his name. Viggo
Mortensen.
Mortensen. Phenomenal. But like
Really?
the whole film,
Really?
you'd have a great cast. That or Kite Runner. Do
Oh, God.
proper Middle Eastern musical.
That, yeah, God. That, just heart-wrenching, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I remember exactly where I was when I was reading like the pages of that book that were just so hard to read. You know the ones I'm talking about.
Have you read his other one?
No.
Thousand Splendid Suns?
No. I kind of felt like I needed to like heal my soul before because it was so intense reading The Kite Runner.
Yeah.
So intense. Dasom _0504 says, I love the combination of you two in Korea. How does it feel to be selected for the role by Andrew Lloyd Webber? How does it feel when you get given a role like that?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Just as good as he feels selecting us. Lucky him.
TPONR says, you two have, again, another question about Korea. You two have recently been working together since concerts in Korea. What do you think each other's strengths or nicest things are? By the way, thank you for coming to Korea.
You're very giving.
Thanks,
Very
mate.
nice. Very easy to get on with. Very talented. No, you don't
You're
have to go.
really polite to everybody. You are lovely to everybody. You're very, very, have a good sense of how to treat people. It's really lovely to be around.
Thank you.
And you're really talented.
Wow. I like the nice bit though. That's cool. That's important because
What's the
again,
point?
with the way this world's going,
Mm.
I don't even care about what religion people are anymore or what politics you're on, what side you're on. I don't care. Just don't be a dick.
Nicole Ackman, 16, says, if you could play any of the roles Anna's played, which would you want to do, and vice versa?
What's another gender swap?
Valjean.
Liza Doolittle?
Yeah. Gosh, we got so many questions about advice for people studying music theatre, people moving from studying into the world, into the industry, people asking for audition advice, like what to study at university. We had so many questions, and it's really hard to answer them without being specific and without the video running into like 2.5 hours.
Look, I think it all comes down to preparation. Preparation.
Tell me about that, Ramin.
I just think you have to prepare and prepare and prepare, and it's all about repetition and getting as close to the material as possible, so you can then forget it all and let your imagination and instinct go. But you can't just run on instinct without preparation. And that's something I learned, because I used to always just go by instinct. But I do believe if you're nervous, you're unprepared. You can be excited, you can have those butterflies. Those don't even leave me. Especially like when I said...
But dread nerves, you mean?
Yeah, because then, but if you're prepared, then you're able to roll with the punches when you get to the audition, because no doubt, if you've done that much prep work, you're going to have a different little swagger about you. Something, I think, unless you're completely not right for the part, which you have to also accept,
But
because
even
sometimes
if you're not right and you walk in being prepared, doing a great audition, you'll be in their minds for
it'll
something
bode
else.
well.
Yeah.
But also, they still might work with you. Just like, there's something here, let's just... And then if they throw you a curveball for the sake of throwing you a curveball, maybe some directors do that, or they just want to bring you more into the realm of how the director's thinking of the part, you can roll with the punches then if you're prepped properly for it. You know, you can't really improv, I would have thought, if you don't know the material that well.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of faking it till you making it. Fake it till you make it. I've
only-
heard that
the
phrase
only-
and I think it's horrible.
Do you know why I like that phrase? For if you find yourself being overwhelmed with anxiety or nerves, fake the confidence.
But if you're pulling it off, you're not faking it.
But I think it's hard for people sometimes to have belief in themselves.
True.
I think,
but then that's a process they got to go through. That's part
yes,
of the prep.
indeed. And I think that something like faking it till you make it is good for things like confidence. Has been for me.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But then I think if they're doing that, then it's not faking, it's genuine, it's there.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
If they're able to flip that switch, then
yeah,
well done.
yeah.
You know?
That's practice too, though. That's practice
100%.
to know how to do that.
But bringing this back to the question, it's just prep. Do what you need to do to prep.
I think the hard work always sticks out for me. I want to emulate people who work really hard, and I think it's the only way to get results beyond a certain point is just to work hard, keep working hard, then you think you're done, then you work harder.
Yeah.
And also don't resent that hard work. Enjoy it. Be honest with yourself about your strengths and weaknesses. Know where you have to improve. Learn to think critically, but in a kind way about what we do, and be kind to yourself. But learn to push yourself and enjoy that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, hard work doesn't have to be a dark thing.
No,
or anything.
it's very fulfilling,
fun.
actually. Yeah.
All this should be ultimately fun. So when you get in the room, just have a blast. You get to be that character, even just for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
enjoy those 5 minutes.
Yeah.
For me,
That's a
lot
right.
of parallels I use is like what I do in the gym and whatnot. So like today's workout, there was this thing on this CrossFit box that I follow, and they're like, if you hit 300 points, got the workout. I'm like, I know I'm not going to hit 300 points today. I'm aiming for 200. I got 201. So even though I know there's going to be people who hit 300, in my head I got excited thinking, I got somewhere I can go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so you're honest with yourself about the goal.
Yeah.
And then you try and exceed it.
Yeah. So next time, I think if I hit 225, all right, that's good. So
great
hard.
advice.
So hard.
Scotty Brown, 97, says, what has been the hardest role you've had to perform musically?
What does that mean? Like, do you think vocal challenges or?
I don't know, it's
just
open
everything
to
above?
interpretation, I think. My hardest was back when I was an opera singer and I sang Pamina in Die Zauberflöte, and that was really hard.
Pamita Plapa, so what was that?
Pamina is the name of the role in Die Zauberflöte, the magic flute.
German? Mm.
Mozart.
Wow.
But yeah, that's the most, and unmiked, you know, that's over a full orchestra. That's challenging, but again, really thrilling when you.
Yeah, I bet.
Mm.
I guess
Valjean?
Valjean, yeah.
That's
That asked a lot of me at that point in my life, but now I was just thinking, like when I did the concert with the Toronto Symphony, we did Move On from Sunday to Park. That is stunning. But
That's
for someone like me
yeah.
who's not well versed with the Sondheim material,
But that orchestration is
I
very.
practiced a lot.
Yeah, the orchestration for that is very hard, very impressionistic, you know. So
Yeah, and I have a shit internal metronome. That's something I'm working on. You know, I'm trying to teach myself how to read music and whatnot. Now when I practice, especially with the banjo when I'm home, metronome and whatnot.
Yeah.
But that's the type of song where if the conductor's in front of me, no matter where I'm in that stage, somewhere I'm keeping him clocked in.
But if he's behind you,
That's the worst. Because I wanted to keep my eyes on Stephanie J. Block. But they were like, you know, you can't go wrong when there was someone like Stephanie as well. She's amazing.
yeah. Tasha C. Delecki says, what Australian foods have you tried while you've been here? And Zen_if says Vegemite. Thoughts? Have you eaten Vegemite yet?
Oh, horrific. So I know what it is.
Have you had it the right way?
There's no right way. It's tar.
Okay.
My kids love that. Hadley has, what's it? Bovine. He's got like where it's a bit of meat in there, the meat version of it.
Oh.
They seem to like it as when they're kids, and I remember spreading it, going, "Oh, please don't get on my mouth somehow." You know,
Vegemite
horrific.
though. Vegemite is veggie. That's the Vegemite.
Okay, well, that's still not winning me over.
Avocado.
I'll eat an avocado. Avocado.
Oh, you had a Lamington flavoured thing the other day.
What's that?
Do you remember on the plane? And I said this bar that we had that's Lamington flavoured, and Lamington is a very Australian thing.
Right.
The coconut and the chocolate flavour.
Yes. I had something, but I think people might get upset. I had tried kangaroo.
Oh no, people eat that here. Yeah, what was the verdict?
It's good. Very lean. I'm not anti-hunting or anti-meat, obviously, because I eat it. I wear leather. But I try and make sure it's ethically sourced. I'm against trophy hunting, of course. But I was like nervous. I kept asking the waiter, is this ethically sourced? Like, are we allowed to do this?
There's kangaroo culling that happens.
So there's no
In the
threat
centre
to
of
their numbers
Australia.
or anything?
No,
like
that's
that?
that's why they're culling them, because they're reaching like.
Right. And it was at a
Right,
restaurant
portions.
where everything, because I'm trying to like not support factory farming and stuff like that now. So when
Conscientious.
I look for restaurants that, preferably hunt them themselves, so then this question went down a whole different
5
thing.
hours later. A lot of questions about favourites. Kryn L and Jen Holstock asked us about our favourite musical. Let's go quick fire. Favourite musical.
Do you know one of the greatest experiences I had was watching Showboat in
Yeah,
Toronto?
yeah.
When it first started.
It's epic, isn't it,
Well,
Showboat?
how Prince is. I remember whatever version was it started in Toronto.
Really?
Phenomenal. Not
And
like
the
a
music too is
whole show.
divine. My favourite is Sweeney Todd. Baby Ruth, 79, and Lauren Elizabeth Hoig. Favourite role you've played, whichever one I'm doing at the time. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Cinder Robin says, what are your favourite songs to sing? Ramin always sound checks with Murder in the City. And I think that's a really good test of what your actual favourite is to do, because it's just within you, isn't it, to do it?
Yeah,
it's
well,
just something that means.
Because I get nervous about playing the guitar, even now, I've had a few hours up in front of people doing it. But for sound check, because it's a lot of finger picking, and to kind of find my
just
balance, my
groove
voice.
into it. Yeah,
But there's other songs. I'll use that. I'll use, what's that Mumford and Son song? Constant Reminder. I think it's called Reminder. And also Breath of Love. I'll use that. I love singing that. You know what song sometimes I love? Like a shower song. I know I don't tend to sing in the shower anymore, but
You're too busy. You're like,
I'll
we'll be
cover
singing
you
later.
from Rent. Live in my house.
Beautiful.
I'll be your shelter.
That'd be lovely. You should do that.
I'm thinking of a version to do.
I was thinking of that song just today.
Beautiful song.
Bizarre. Right now, I'm like going back to singing all this amazing French art song that I did at college a lot.
Like what?
Like Debussy and Duparc, and I wrote my thesis on a guy called Francis Poulenc, so I sang a lot of that at college.
A whole lot of stuff you just said there.
Turn of the century French art song, just like piano, it just
I bet that's
beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I'd
And
love
I
to hear
never
that.
get a chance to do it. I should have.
Have you heard of Fado music? Rip Your Soul?
Yeah.
Is it like that?
For me, it has that same kind of emotional. I used to love singing in French because it would just, there's something that like
I'll put some on later.
draws it out of you. What's
Love
on your
that.
list? Somebody asked us a question about our favourite song to perform together.
Well, so far, I'm going to say I'm loving the songs of the New World
Oh
song.
my gosh, me too. That was good. It's a tie
give it all for
between
you.
that. It's a tie between that for me and Edelweiss.
Edelweiss.
Elizabeth XO says favourite pre-show ritual. Brushing my teeth.
Yeah, I will always do that.
It's I think it's actually that's a weird question, but I think it's actually my
I
favourite.
think in Anastasia I would brush like 4 times. Anytime I know I have a scene with someone, I'm like,
You need it as soon as you're
Constantly
that close to
flossing.
someone.
but I guess a ritual, you know, a bit of stretching if need be, but always play the guitar.
Lovely.
Sing something.
Yeah. Amy.Santoya says, favorite animal?
I have to say Lacey Lou, my little chihuahua. She'll be watching this.
I wish I had, it wouldn't be proper to have this as a pet, but my favorite animal is a deer.
Yeah,
Or a
cute.
stag or a deer.
I gotta add Georgia, my little cat, too. She'll be watching this.
Should we,
They're gonna be arguing now.
do I need to edit this?
No,
so that,
leave it
okay,
in. They know I
fine.
love them both.
What's your favorite aspect of traveling the world for work? The people, the food, getting to see. When you travel a lot for work, you don't get a lot of downtime, do you? To actually
No.
like get around and see a lot. So that's why it's so cool to be
Yeah.
able to talk with people about the place that they live in. And
I don't do the touristy things when I'm on work.
Mm.
I just want to feel like the locals.
Mm.
But like, you know,
You're always like, let's go get the good coffee. You're like, where's the good coffee at?
Where's the gym?
Yeah.
But then when I'm in the gym, especially now with subscribed to the whole CrossFit rage, you meet so many of the locals there and
Yeah.
you talk, and they're just normal folks. They have no idea what I'm doing, which is great. And just have normal conversations. So I'm very grateful.
Yeah. Yeah. Tenor_Phantom says, favorite place to travel to besides your own home?
Jeez, well, again, this is fighting for the number one spot. Like, look at it. Australia's been amazing.
Over the other side.
I always say Taormina
Where's that?
in Sicily. So beautiful.
Italy's mine. Italy or France, anywhere.
I love going to Japan.
Mm.
South Korea's great. Hong Kong. Look,
Too many.
they're all going to be places that I fawn over because I'm there on privileged conditions for not long periods. I'm well looked after. So again, it's probably a little bit unrealistic as well. I go on such. I'm just grateful for how it all happens.
Mm. It's Christina with no H. Says, what was your favorite thing in Melbourne to show Ramin? I like showing you Melbourne's a big graffiti town, so I really enjoyed showing you Hosier Lane. That was
amazing.
Yeah, really cool. Really just like, you know, again, we didn't get very much time. I would have loved to have taken you down the coast.
Yes. On that
Peninsula
beach,
or...
down here, I didn't get to go
yeah,
down.
I know. Do or die. Do or die says, would the two of you consider recording a song together?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, let's do it. STL_Holly.
I know her.
Hi.
She's
Hi,
very
Holly.
supportive.
Says, this is a good question. Choosing your next adventure / theatre role / concert series seems like it would be a tough decision. How do you go about choosing what you'll accept next?
For me, how does it not advance my career, but like, is it something new? Is it something challenging? Because if you challenge, you'll grow. But equally on par with that decision is, how does it affect the family? And it just seems like every job that's coming in right now is, okay, how long am I away from my family?
Yeah.
So, yeah, whatever benefits both on equal measure.
Mm.
As best I can, because I don't think
Mm.
it is ever equal. Somebody has to negotiate.
Mm. Right, well, I think there's a bit of a misconception that you get to just choose like whatever you want to do, and it's quite often just what comes across the table or what you might be auditioning for or what's happening at that particular time. I always feel if I'm doing like a lot of concert work, then I'm kind of itching to get into 8 shows a week, and if I'm doing 8 shows a week, then I really want to sort of stretch my wings and do a bit more sort of off concert work that gives you a different kind of rush. So I think for me it's like, you know, again, to use your gym analogy, it's like one muscle gets your 8 show fitness muscle will get really strong, and then you really want to work on concert work or something more intimate, or, you know, or your own writing or whatever. And so I'm just always looking to balance that sort of thing. Just do.
Be diverse.
Savannah Gelly says, how do you deal with audition rejection?
It took a while for me.
Did
You
it?
know how people talk about mental health in our industry? That's come,
We got some questions coming up.
Oh, good. That's come to light quite a bit recently, which is great.
Mm.
People talking about it and whatnot. Man, I've had sleepless nights.
Have you?
I remember for Chris and Miss Saigon, Mandy would look over, because I was a father at that point. All I wanted to do is make sure they never, like, were gone hungry
Priorities
or anything
change,
like that.
yeah.
And that audition process took a while. And I remember, like, just the nerves. I couldn't sleep. I got insomnia. In my head, I was going crazy.
Stakes were high.
Every day,
But you
like
got
every
that
now and
job.
then, yeah, in the end. But I remember, I had the best time in that gig, man. Live gratitude daily. But I remember, man, come on, you gotta go to sleep. She just see me sitting on the edge of the bed, staring, because I was just so nervous. And I thought, I can't keep doing this. So to a point where I'm like, if you don't get a hold of this, you gotta walk away from it. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're no good to your family this way
Yeah.
either. And no good on stage. Like, you can't have that sort of air of desperation and. If you don't have control of yourself,
it's not good on stage, is it?
So it got to a point where a bit of contentment, where I thought, you know what, this is not all that fulfills me. This is part of my life. My family's part of that. Friends, travel, hobbies. So I took the pressure off the industry as well, where I thought, that's all I need to be happy,
yeah.
and it's not.
Yeah.
100% it's not.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of it. And
It's
when I
a
don't work,
learned-
I'm still happy because I got my family, I've got my friends, I've got my hobbies.
Yeah. It's a learn. I think again, it is something that you have to learn. It's a personal thing. I give myself a day.
Yeah, and it's
And
okay.
then and you can go on the day. You can be like, oh, you can rail, you can be upset, you can be whatever. And then the next morning you wake up and you just start working hard again. Put your energy and your effort into something else.
Yeah, understand that you just might not be the type to look for. There's nothing you could have done.
It's very and it's hard too. But this is a hard thing to get your head around. It's very, very. It's not going to be personal. It's not against you. It's not. It's merely to do with the process sometimes.
Then I think, and this is something I would always do, I'd first think, what more could I have done? Did I fuck it up in any way? Was I unprepared?
Yeah.
Is there anything I could have done different? It's
Constructive
okay.
thinking,
There's things that you can do, it just didn't work out, and you can improve it next time. And that's okay too. But also, don't be one of those actors that become, where they're like, when they don't get the job and you fabricate these excuses like, oh, they were looking for such and such, or this and that. No, it just didn't work out. And it's okay to feel crappy about it. It's okay to be like when I didn't get parts, I'd be like, damn it.
Yeah, because you're passionate about it. It's
Yeah.
hard. It's you're allowed to feel that when and you should be passionate about every role that you're going for. I think if you're putting yourself in that position. So, a really good mate of mine says, nothing that's meant for you passes you by. 100%. And I think if you can make your peace with that, that's really helpful.
Allow yourself to go through the disappointment.
Yeah.
And don't pretend it's not there.
Yeah. We got a lot of questions about stage fright and nerves and how you deal with it, and a lot of people sort of saying, I'm an actor but I suffer with anxiety or stress in front of getting up in front of people, but I'm passionate about what I do.
Well, let's take it as read that they prepared.
Yeah, I
And
think
you're
this is
still
a
suffering with
different thing.
that?
I think this is a stage fright thing. People
Well,
have just started to talk about it in our industry, actually. I think it's really
yeah,
healthy.
I can see why. Like, even now, there's times where I'm like, I get this like feeling. I don't know if it's age or something I'm going through. This year for me is pretty interesting. But I think if they're doing everything right, and this is a point where I would, because I'm not even trained to probably even talk about it, I would say you should seek some sort of someone like a good therapist that can work. There's ways to work around it, and I don't think there's anything wrong with seeing a therapist. I've seen a therapist in my lifetime at times, and it's great.
I think particularly if you're a person who's portraying emotion on stage, it's kind of a good thing to do. My singing teacher at college, who I still see when I'm in Melbourne, said how she used to run the program at uni was that we would have 5 weeks of weekly singing lessons, and then for 5 weeks we would go off and do body work or some sort of therapy or whatever, because things would sink in the interim, and I think you sort of hit saturation point after about 5 weeks of something, and you have to kind of let everything download. But she was a big advocate for, well, what needs work? Is it your voice? Is it your body? Is it your mind? How can we make all of these things work in harmony together?
Nice.
Yeah.
But I think also, if is it stage fright, or are you just worried about showing your vulnerability? And I think don't be afraid to show the vulnerability.
Yeah,
I think that's a great
beautiful
thing.
on stage. Yeah.
But if you're literally like, I can't do this, but in my bedroom I can, and you've got the voice, then certainly seek help for that, because there's steps to be taken.
Makina Madkins says, would Ramin consider playing Henry Higgins in My Fair Lady? How's your RP? How's your received pronunciation?
I'm not going to do it now.
No.
Well, it's a great part.
Great part. Oh, Callum Aiken says, Ramin, you've said that Broadway was your last Valjean, but would you ever consider returning to Les Mis to play Javert?
It's funny you asked that.
Because maybe.
No, I'm not going to do it, though. Look, I always thought I wanted to play Javert, and I knew I never wanted to play Valjean. And we got forced to play Valjean in a...
Got forced.
Well, you can't say no to Cameron when he goes, do me a favor and play Valjean. How do you say no to that?
Yes.
But I'm so grateful. Yes, yeah, exactly. I'm so grateful he kind of like... It's because he had such faith that I could do it. I was like, Cameron, I can't do it. He goes, sure you can. How do you... That's amazing, right?
Yeah.
To have that sort of like belief. So now, I still don't feel finished with Valjean, you know, like, I don't know, so I don't think I could. I wouldn't mind the jacket, though. Awesome.
So cool. The hat. And not you love
Look at the size of my head. I'll pull it off.
Messing Aifchen says, oh, Anna, any must-reads of the books you've read lately? And Ramin, I'm interested in yours too. Yeah, just finished Rebecca. Highly recommended. And I enjoyed Lincoln in the Bardo, but not as much as I thought I was going to. But it has made me want to read more of his short stories. So George Saunders' short stories. So they're the two that were kind of in. Yeah, I didn't enjoy Lincoln in the Bardo as much as I thought I was going to, but it has stayed with me. So
Nice. My New Year's resolution was to read 4 books this year, and I'm going to do it.
you're reading a good one right now, though.
I know, but
Tell the people on Instagram/Facebook what you're reading right now.
But this is where I feel bad.
You're gonna wait till finish it and then you'll tell them.
No, because I think I've been photographed with this book a couple times.
It's propping up the phone right now.
It's a
classic.
It's
a modern classic, isn't it, Shantaram? It's a big book. It's like, that's 800 pages, isn't it?
And you've inspired me to kind of like really I'm trying to divide my day properly, like music practice, reading, Japanese learning. But once you travel and prep concerts,
things
get
negotiated. Yeah.
But now I'm getting back into it. It is amazing. I'm in the section now where he's back in the prison in India. My God, it's hard to read. I almost had to start flipping pages, and I don't mind gore and stuff, but even that I was like, Jesus.
Laken 2000 says, have either of you considered making another album? You both have incredible voices and I love your music. I think you should make one.
I do, but I don't want to do it on my own anymore. It's too much work.
Make one in your band.
No, but I mean, like, I want a producer to kind of...
Oh, right, to do it, yeah.
I want a producer that digs our stuff, that gets it, and we just do it. We come out and play. I don't want to think...
Live album. That'd be cool.
Maybe. If we do this tour that we might announce soon, well, it doesn't matter. We might tour the UK again. Parts of the UK. Everyone gets all like, oh, you're not coming here. It's not
We're
UK,
going to talk
blah,
about
blah,
that in a
blah.
minute too.
We're doing a lot of gigs. That would be the point. And maybe I'll record every gig and just see what stems we take from that. But I love studio. I used to hate going to studio. Now I love it. It's so much fun. But I don't want to think about anything other than just showing up and singing and playing, making good music, and then let other people run with it. So,
not until I feel I have something to say with it. I don't feel that urge particularly strongly right now. Bree Eid says, what was your first experience with theatre like?
Life-changing.
Yeah. Here. Mandy Zafina says, have you ever thought about screen acting?
Yeah. Love it. Have you done it? Besides Love Never Dies?
Love Never Dies, yeah.
When you did the Love Never Dies, did you feel your screen acting? But you saw an audience,
they were right there.
We had an audience?
No, we went dark. They shut down the theatre for 3 days, so we didn't do perform. This was right after we'd done our 5-show weekend as well. And then the next morning at 9 a.m. or whatever it was to start recording the show.
What?
Yeah.
Did you have to sing live or over your own track?
Live.
So your day off was filming Love Never Dies.
So we used to do 5 shows in 48 hours over the weekend. This was at Melbourne.
That schedule should never happen when you have like a score like Love Never Dies or Phantom or Les Mis. When they do these 5
It was
show
very,
weekends.
very challenging to sing it like that, and particularly the turnaround, just not enough time to sort of rest in between. But anyway, then we used to get 2 days off, so that was great. But we didn't, obviously, in the middle of Melbourne winter. So we finished our last show on the Sunday at whatever time it was. We used to finish 7:30 or something, and then then Monday we were in. I don't even remember, but there were definitely 13-hour days. So
and Ben would have to
10
get in
a.m.
late for his makeup.
But we both did because we didn't obviously film it in sequence. So we did. Some of this is like so firmly etched on my brain. It's just anyway. We did the first day. The orchestra wasn't with us, so we had a few tracks that had been pre-recorded with our orchestra, where we went in and sang not on mic, but the orchestra sang. So that was Love Never Dies. That was, I think, Till I Hear You Sing for Ben and.
So he could just sing over himself.
No, not over himself. They didn't take our vocal. They just took the orchestra because they needed to give the orchestra a day off because of the orchestra equity requirements.
But why did you have to
So
sing
we
live?
did. Because they wanted live takes. They wanted live takes of everything.
But you could have taken like
We
all
did
week, just
the
record
most.
all
The
the live
most
takes.
we did. I think we did 4 takes of one of the duets. But the most we generally did about 2 takes, 2 passes at each show, at each song. So we did that on Monday, and then on Tuesday we did the same thing. Wednesday we did the same. Normally we'd have 2 shows on Wednesday. Wednesday we did the same thing. Thursday during the day we filmed all the duets, all the big singing. And then Thursday night, we did a live show in front of an audience with the cameras filming. And I think initially they had thought that they would get about 60% of the end product from that live show. But they didn't. They used a lot of the up-close stuff because they built an extra set over built an extra sort of stage over the orchestra, and they brought the cameras on stage with, it was very, they were very there with us, and then they had a couple of 6 cameras, I think, so some in the, but they ended up using very little of that live show, I think because they just got what they wanted close up, but it was all, no, I didn't overdub a single thing on that.
Good for you.
I'm really proud of that.
So were you getting direction more from the eye of a camera, like
Yeah, so
on
we
this
had,
one, Anna, you're gonna be on this camera?
yeah, and we reblocked some of it to be closer and reblocked less movie, less kind of, much more static, because that's what reads
Especially
better
the cameras
on.
right there,
yeah, exactly. They've
Cool.
got some beautiful stuff. I've only seen it once. I saw it at the they did like a premiere for us, and it was just like
Yeah.
and not since, but I'm really proud of, we to answer your question, we had a film director. So we had Simon Phillips, who was our actual director, and then Brett Sullivan, who came in to direct the film of it, and they were very much kind of...
Do they do all the EPKs? That guy's awesome.
Awesome, isn't he?
He does great work.
Yeah.
They work fast.
And beautiful. They captured it so beautifully.
And he's got such a great, attitude
Manner.
and spirit. Yeah. He's a nice guy.
Every time I see him, I'm like...
He does everything now, from New York's all the EPKs.
Yeah. Because he's really, really
He's
good
a
at
good
it.
guy, man.
Got a couple of questions about meeting us after the performance in Sydney for people who couldn't afford tickets to the meet and greet and that.
It's a good question, and this is where our hands get tied. One, I don't know what time we get out,
Yeah.
and we have early flights. But this is why I don't like the meet and greets, and I might as well say this. I like meeting people, don't get me wrong.
You do, you're very good at it.
But charging, I don't like people being charged to meet us.
Yeah.
That's not our decision. We don't get the money for that. I don't know why they do it. I guess theaters, producers. But I also appreciate that they need to make money so these things can happen. But I feel guilty then if people have paid to meet us. We just go for free at stage door. I feel bad for people.
It's a catch-22, isn't it?
That's why when we tour again, I'm not doing meet and greets, but I've said, this is a discussion we're having now, I said, I'd sell an experience, but to pay extra just to come shake my hand and say hello, I feel like such a dick. Nobody needs to pay for that.
We're going to try come out of stage door after the show, but it's going to be probably at least an hour and a half afterwards that we come out.
If we can.
If we can.
If we can, of course.
Thank you for
but
coming.
don't wait around for ages.
Take this as the thank you for coming.
Because we got to get our stuff ready and get ready for a flight. But that being said, I just want to reiterate, when I say I don't like meet and greets, it's people having to pay for that.
Yeah. It's a bit icky, isn't it? Yeah.
But I get it, because listen, at the end of the day, we want the producers to make money, we want the theater to make money, because if they do it, then they do more of these things, not just for me coming out, for you coming out,
and people,
for other artists.
That is an experience for people as well. People, that is something that people will treasure.
I hope so. That's why we try and make it as memorable as possible. But when I set up a meet and greet for our tour, well, an experience, I want them to feel like they've got something, a good value for it. So those who have paid for the meet and greet on this Australian stops, thank you very much. I hope it's worth it.
Mr. Shane Webb says, how do you maintain the mental discipline to work out to the level that you do, especially when touring so often?
It's non-negotiable.
It's a habit for you, isn't it? It's a routine. It's part of your routine.
But it's also my time. It's time to, one, I don't feel I have to. Two, it's fun. I like feeling athletic. I like trying to beat my scores. You feel like you're part of something. You know, it all really started with Valjean. So that one I had to gain the weight, I had to body build, and I started to really
Eat
enjoy
the calories.
But it got to the point, 5,000 calories. But when I moved and lived, this would be a typical 2-show day. I lived in Washington Heights, 181 Riverside. I'd ride the bike, push bike, pedal bike, down the Riverside Bike Highway to the theater. That was 8 kilometers or 8 miles before the matinee. Go to the gym, do the matinee, go back to the gym,
Wow.
do a bit more bodybuilding, and then the show, and then 8 kilometers home or miles, whatever it was. Loved it. It was fun.
But the more you do, the more you're capable of, correct?
Yeah, but I also listen to my body. On the days where my body says I can't, I won't.
You don't want, yeah.
But that's why I don't schedule rest days. But I do stretching now, and then every morning I'm up doing a run one. And then if my body says, not today,
you don't.
that's it.
That's too funny.
But I think if you make something non-negotiable as part of your day, I want time on my own. And if I give myself 10% of my day, which doesn't sound like much, but that's 2 hours and 40 minutes of the day. That should be just for you to do what you want, to improve yourself, to rest, whatever you need to do to be better than yesterday.
Very inspiring.
It's the first time I've taken this stuff seriously.
For the people.
Usually I'm just messing around and stuff. Huh?
Laura Isabel says, at Ramin Karimloo, please start a podcast. Here.
We've done the podcast. I'm going to use this.
Rosie Goodby says, what's the highest note you're able to sing? I don't know.
I don't know. My highest note I ever have to hit is going to be as Che.
What's that?
Yeah, we found one in Money. Money kept rolling in.
Well, I think the highest note I've heard you sing, though, was that the last night of our gala concert in Korea, and Ramin was singing Jesus Christ Superstar, and I laughed on mic because it was that ridiculous.
This one's higher as Che. I don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon.
You'd be like, that, this is the show where it's happening.
It's one of those notes where I think,
It'll be a
here
Saturday
it comes,
night
I'm going
show,
to squeeze everything. See you at the end.
Push harder. Highest note I've sung on stage is an E. I've never sung an F on stage.
They said this is a G over C.
Yeah.
Well, I got to hit it. So hopefully I will deserve this.
I was just going to go, leave me, and then see you at the end.
See you in a month.
Oh, we got so many questions about Love. We talked about it a little bit, about Love Never Dies and Phantom, about our experiences with it. So I just think I'll let you riff. What was your favourite scene to play in Love Never Dies and in Phantom?
Before the performance.
Nice.
Beautiful. I cannot remember what I sang.
The lyric.
Yeah, I remember loving these lyrics, and I cannot for the life of me remember.
Oh, beautiful.
Entwined once more, something like that.
Fulfill us, complete us, make us whole.
Yes.
Seal our bond.
Forevermore? No, that's not it.
Yeah. Isn't it?
I just remember thinking
Beautiful.
how it sat it wasn't as hard as the first time I had to sing it in Act 1, the lyrics and stuff. But
Yeah,
I just
different
love that
vowels and
scene. He was
things.
so... I'm using this phrase in the concerts right now before one of my songs, but it's that heartbreaking optimism.
Mm. Mm. Pulls you in. Nothing like it for an audience. It was lovely to do that scene, to just
Ozzy's got me psyched for that show
experience
again.
it. Love Never Dies.
Yeah, you guys loved it out here, and the way you celebrate it's amazing. Makes me want to do it again.
Really interesting opening a Lloyd Webber show over here and then opening a Lloyd Webber show in the UK when I did Women in White. The difference, and I tell you what was really special. It was so to be doing a new version of a show out here was just so amazing and really rare, and then to have it filmed, that was just crazy. But I think the filming allowed people to take it into their hearts. But I remember hearing the, I'm going to call it a concept album because I think it came out before.
Oh yeah, we recorded the album before.
And it had like 70,000 trombones and 50 million cellos, and it was just...
It's huge.
I remember
Abbey Road.
hearing that music. I actually remember driving from Sydney to Melbourne at the time and hearing that music for the first time and just like going, oh my.
That overture.
The whole thing though, and you guys singing together, and
I remember hearing that music and I was like, Jesus. And
just
Andrew was very
beautiful.
collaborative too, and hearing it all for the first time, like Beauty Underneath, that had a different title, and he goes, Ramin, I got these two titles, Beauty Underneath, or, and I'll never say it because it's not my place to say it. And I said, because it wasn't called Beauty Underneath, and I said, I think Beauty Underneath, that's my vote. And he goes, all right.
And then you could change it. God, how wonderful.
But those, just I think it's his best work. Like,
Me too.
it's so passionate and rich.
You're always going to have a special relationship with the things that you were able to originate or have a say in or whatever. And but for me, there's something about its lyricism and the feels like full circle of so much of Andrew's writing to me, and the start of the Coney Island. Yeah, I just.
And you got remember that it was 28 when I first started working on it, the first workshop. So I was still living the dream. I just achieved the dream of crazy, right? So then this is happening. So I'm just like, I'm here as a fan as well as an actor. It was great.
Beautiful. What's your favourite scene to do in Phantom?
Well, he's only got 2.
Oh my God, it's so true. And then the rest of the stuff, it's just, insolent boy. Monsieur, I have a note.
Press play on the tape. I'm in my room. I like, well, of course, the final air. I love the angel. That just leaves one more. It just leaves the first layer.
No. Don't you like Wandering Child as well? I like Wandering Child.
No, that's what I meant when I said angel. I meant the cross.
Oh, I think Angel must be lovely though, because you get to sort of ride and see everybody, and
Yeah,
you know.
I get to stretch my legs after being stuck in that thing.
I don't envy the fan of that. You're just like crouching down in the.
Let's talk on the podcast what almost made me fall out of that angel.
You'll have to tune into the podcast, as will I. After
We
I've
have to
been
do
there.
it tonight.
Grandar 2110 and to be inspired 2 says, what are your hobbies outside of your theatre works, and what do you like to do in your spare time?
When'd you?
I love traveling. When you travel a lot for work, it's really, you need to prioritize traveling for pleasure, but I always have. I'm a big reader, as you know, so I love reading. I love going not just to the theatre, but going to concerts, going to something unexpected. Particularly living in London, it's great. You can just go like, oh, I'm going to go to that random gig. I don't know what that is, but
Nice.
I like that. I like, going to exhibitions. I like,
Well, I guess mine is what would be deemed maybe ordinary, because it's the ordinary is extraordinary for me right now. So being home, just going on date night with Mandy, taking the boys like Jaden fishing,
That's beautiful.
taking Hadley on the bike, so doing stuff like that, because I don't get enough of that. So those would be my hobbies now, because I guess I'm
That's
equating.
so beautiful that it's what you look forward to, though.
100%. So, and with Mandy, the things we love to do would be like nice restaurants. She wants to go dancing more, so I'm determined. There's two like salsa dancers in Avita, so I might get some private lessons and get my feet up and running.
That's a cool idea. Oh my god, you should take
Because she loves it. It's like, it's what her DNA is. She's a dancer, so that's where I probably should up my game a bit.
You're surprising.
That's one role I'd like to do. Is a role that requires me
to dance.
To dance a ton.
I'd love to see you in something where you have to be funny and you have to dance.
But
where
like,
you have to be funny.
But someone
have to be funny.
To hire me, you can't ask me to come audition for that because it's not going to work out. They have to think this guy can do it. Give me 6 months to prep, like work with me.
Get in the, yeah. Again, people are asking for advice on moving into the industry, 6 months to prep. If you know the role's going to have dance in it, go to be in class. Be in class most of the time.
Now, don't get me wrong. After 6 months, I'm not going to be like,
no, but you're going to work for it. You're going to work to know how to do your plot in the show. The Boo Boo 13 says, if you weren't doing acting / singing, what would you be doing?
I think police officer.
Really?
Yeah. Love cops. I love people in service.
Yeah.
My brother's one. He's like a hero.
Love it. Evelyn Guy says, what was this is good. What was the song Ramin was planning on performing before Matt from Melbourne requested Murder in the City?
I didn't change it. I just added Murder in the City. Didn't I? Yeah.
Good old Matt from Melbourne.
Good old Matt from Melbourne. He's everywhere now. Everyone's
Matt
talking
from
about
Melbourne, I know. Hashtag Matt from Melbourne.
What a docile
That was a
voice
great
he had. That projection.
No. Literally, it sounded like he was on mic. It's ridiculous. Okay, are you ready for this? It's going to be long. Nancy Sunsonen says, will you two have a Chinese tour someday? Oi Oi Lamb says, when are you guys coming to Singapore? Ian Petriello Eisenberg says, when are you coming to Hawaii? Aline XO says, are you coming to the Netherlands? Reem Caroline says, is there any place you intend to do this? Is there any other place you intend to do this show? Brazil, for example. Christina624 says, are you guys going to do a show in New York? Carrie Paris says, please have a concert in the New Jersey, NYC area. Lots of people want us to come to Singapore. Japan. Anna, have you ever been to Japan? Yes, and I'm desperate to go back. Immi Harwood says, would either of you come to New Zealand? More Asian country? Oh, lots of questions. Lots of people from the Philippines saying come and do a show there. Hong Kong. People are asking about any plans for another UK tour or a US tour.
UK is definitely happening. Look, I gotta give a blanket question because I get asked this a lot.
I just felt I had to mention that because there were so many people who said it'd be so great to see you. And
here's the thing.
Yes, Ramin.
So when they say, would you like to come? Would you ever consider? Or this one gets my. What I think I was looking for a phrase.
This one gets my goat.
Yeah, something like that. I'm thinking of is there gets my grapes in a garter or something like that? This one begs the piper. It's when they go, you never want to come here. So I'll put up a tour date and you hear equal amounts of excitement as well as almost like,
why did you choose
shade,
to go there?
You never come in here. And I'm like, listen, at no point am I saying no to going to places. At no point are we ever putting a tour together going, we don't want to go there. We're going to places that producers and theaters invite us, who fund it, because this does take money. Yeah. It's not our money. Yeah. This is someone else putting their livelihood on the line. That's why producers are important. That's why they're valuable
we wouldn't have
people.
Jobs without them.
So you gotta understand, and I get China a lot. I would love to go to China. I'm not saying no to China. It's not on my bad list. But we have to be invited. There has to be a show, someone who wants to bring, whether it's a solo show or put an orchestra together, which takes a ton of money.
Yeah.
So folks,
resources.
Don't ask us.
Also producers.
Phone your producers. Write to your politicians. Vote. The only thing that just takes planning on their part, on their financial ramifications. And also then comes time, I could be in a show for a year.
Yeah.
And if I've been on Broadway for a year,
Availability.
I'm going home.
Mm.
So,
I just
Write to
felt
your
I had to
producers.
say all those people, though, those lovely people who would love to see you or I or both of us together in a show.
amazing. Hand on heart, I'd love to go to every one of those places.
Everyone.
At least twice.
Oh yeah, we've got some questions about what we're doing next and what we're planning for the second half of the year. You.
Well, for depending on when you watch this, I have we have one concert left in Sydney, and then I'm going to go to Japan for 4 weeks to do Che and Evita. I'm so excited about this production. It's amazing. The cast is killer. Apart from Emma Kingston, who's playing her Ava. She's from England.
Okay, she is
Rest
just
is
brilliant.
South
She's
African.
brilliant. What voice?
These people are amazing. This cast is great. And then after that, nothing. I got 3 engagements with Seth Raditsky. I still think I'm saying it wrong. Seth
again
Raditsky
on.
says, oh, I get my name all wrong all the time.
Karimloo.
Chahim, Karimloo.
And Anne Byrne.
Anne Byrne, yes. I love in interviews. This one I did recently on the radio. We're on a long time, like 20 minutes. She said my name 7 different ways.
Any
I
one of
loved
them
it.
right?
Sure, why not? But I got 3 things with Seth. One's a cruise, one's in London, one's in San Francisco, and then nothing. I don't know. I just need time.
Open the door. Yeah.
I need time to kind of. I have considered maybe doing a different career.
Policing.
Whether it's, they probably don't want. I'll be 40. Who starts at 40? I don't know. We'll see. That's why I'm enjoying everything that's happening right now for what it is. And I think you should always live like that. As an artist, I think sing like it's your last song, always.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yourself?
I've got some. I go straight after we finish in Sydney. I go straight back to the UK, and I've got some concert work around. We're doing one in Liverpool. We've got one in
Have you
London.
been to Liverpool?
Yeah.
Oh, so good. So
We
much fun.
opened Guys and Dolls there.
What a great town.
Yeah, so I've just got some concert work, and then there's sort of bits and bobs towards the end of the year. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to being back in the UK. Actually.
Awesome.
Yeah. Christina Chavais and Jillian LK06 and Day_Romanov asked us about.
That's all one name?
No, there
Oh.
were 3 different people who asked the question. It's a lot. Instagram doesn't let you have that long.
Oh, like there's a super fan.
yeah. Asked about the worst or funniest or embarrassing mishap that's happened on stage. Well, wasn't it?
Has it happened with us?
Well, it wasn't worse or funny or anything, but there was definitely a guitar drop on stage in
I
Melbourne.
do it all the time. I've dropped my guitar so much.
I tell you what, it's one of those sounds like a glass smashing where there's something about the sound of an instrument in distress.
I dropped my
It was
banjo.
it face planted onto the ground as well. It was so bad.
I'm so
Banjo,
clumsy.
that would have been
Yeah,
really
it's
loud.
horrible. I'm so clumsy on that stage with all those wires around. I don't know how the Avids do. Whoa. People have roadies. We need crew on outside to come bring the guitars on tuned and it's clean, hand over, boom, boom. It's much more slick.
Pete, we need come and help us in Sydney. Any volunteers?
I think for the UK tour, maybe we should do that. But again,
Let's get Jaden or Hadley. Just give them.
yeah. Actually, Jaden, you got 6 months to learn how to tech a guitar. You're coming on the road.
Lincoln says last night was terrific. Well, Wednesday night was terrific.
Thank
She
you.
really enjoyed it. Everyone above is asking what I'd want to ask, so I guess I'm left with this. At Ramin Karimloo, is your guitar okay?
It's fine. We're gonna do the podcast now.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your questions. We loved answering them. Thanks, Ramin, for answering them with me.
I had a good time.
It was good, wasn't it?
I really enjoyed that.
I'll keep in the good stuff. And then we have to wave.
We have to. Is this a thing you do?
Yeah.
Is it the end of Facebook wave?